views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
And it is Monday in the Riv, and we got so much to talk about. I'm actually shutting my phone off today. Look how difficult it is with this little tiny button with these big bear claws. It's like, but it's off. Okay. First of all, I got to start off with a little bit of a, a little bit of a commentary, a little bit of cleanup. On last show, I talked about the double standard with the law and some of these woke DAs not prosecuting people, and I guess I had a discussion with someone who we will say, I don't like labels, but
right.
Very, very intelligent individual, a friend of mine, and he said, well, that's kind of controversial. And let me try to make this uncontroversial. I was basically drawing two separate parallels of a non-uniform application of the law, having two sets of laws. Because rather than go back over those two, one was white, one was black. But this is the key. The color is irrelevant.
That's right. This
is why I quoted Martin Luther King that you should be judged by the content of your character.
Correct.
So this is not controversial. It is something that people should begin to look at and understand. What our federal government is doing, and what they do in communities too, is they divide people. And that is their way of gaining power. This is the way the minority gains power.
Divide and conquer.
Exactly, divide and conquer. Unity is their enemy.
That's right.
Unity is they do not want us unified. And I watched the Super Bowl last night, and before the Super Bowl, they had Johnny Cash singing Tattered Old Flag. It was a very, very good and emotional thing. And you saw community together, people of all colors and everything else. This is the problem. This is what I was trying to highlight. The reality is that this is how the haves and the power brokers maintain their power. They divide us. Together, we outnumber them greatly, but they break us up into little subgroups to get our votes. Do you really believe this is about color? You haven't been paying attention. They want to make it about color or some other issue. You're a terrorist. Do you really believe that white children are born racist? We see children of all colors playing together when they're young. They don't even understand the difference in color. They're just children.
Right.
So the reality is that they're teaching this to people. They're telling you that you're a bad person from birth. No, people are bad regardless. And this is their method of dividing us and controlling us. Do you really believe that the black people in the south side of Chicago that are being shot at, killed every weekend, are happy and they think this is racist? They have a black mayor who pays no attention to them. Baltimore has been run by black mayors and councils for 50 years. Nothing's going good because that's just their con. Oh, they're racist. Don't vote for them. We're going to take care of you. I refer you to Malcolm X's 1964, I believe, video. It's on YouTube called The Ballot or Bullets, where he talks about how black people are being manipulated by politicians and certain black people to not understand that they're being victimized. So I'm going to go back to the markers of civilizational decline that I had. High crime, we have it here, we have it throughout the country. Bad schools, we have it here throughout the country. And this is the third one is really important. There's 4 markers here, major markers. Low social cohesion. That means division of people.
Which we have.
Which we have. We cannot do this. Think about this, people. Anybody who preached unity fundamentally has been killed. Now, I'll give you some examples, and I'm going to close fairly quickly on this, because think about this. Martin Luther King preached unity. Judge people by the content of their character. He was assassinated. John Kennedy, a black man and a white man, preached unity. They were killed. Okay? Malcolm X, one of the most militant black separatists we ever had, went on a pilgrimage to Mecca, came back, and began to say, it's not about color. I saw blonde-haired, blue-eyed Muslims worshiping with me.
Right.
And they assassinated Malcolm X. And then they assassinated Robert Kennedy, another person who preached unity. So it's not about, isn't it amazing that the people who want to unify us get eliminated? Especially the people with a bully pulpit. Think about that. Think about it. The people who say judge people by who they are. Criminals are criminals, no matter what color they are. Rapists are rapists, no matter what color they are. The only way a society moves is to be together. And I'll close with this, and think about this. I've given you 2 white people, 2 black people who were assassinated because they preached unity. And I'll 2 quotes, actually, because I looked this one up. I know a lot of these things, but I don't know them verbatim, and I'm going to quote, I want them exactly right. This one was from Indira Gandhi, not Mahatma, her more famous husband.
Mm-hmm.
The power to question is the basis of all human progress. So question when your congressmen push this agenda of division, of divisiveness. Question them, because it's not the way this country will move forward. And I'll close with this quote from Robert Kennedy, which says it all. Think about this and listen to this. I'm going to read it slowly. What has violence ever accomplished? What has it ever created? No martyr's cause has ever been stilled by an assassin's bullet. No wrongs have ever been righted by riots and civil disorders. A sniper is only a coward, not a hero. And an uncontrolled or uncontrollable mob is not only the voice of uncontrollable mob is only the voice of madness, not the voice of the people. Now, isn't this ironic that Robert Kennedy and the Kennedys, who promoted unity in this country and who did unify, John Kennedy unified this country, first Roman Catholic ever to be elected president, he unified the country. Isn't it amazing that his party now condones uncontrollable mobs? They allowed BLM to destroy Washington, Oregon, Washington State, and said, no, you got to let them go because they want to divide us. This is true. We have to unify. So with that, we'll move on to to our promise, because remember something, united we stand, divided we fall. Don't let these con artists make you think it's about anything else except unity. Now on to the Lincoln School. A tiff. A tie. Same thing. It's just another euphemism for giving. Yep. Just another euphemism to giving millionaires more money.
That's right.
And isn't it ironic who was up there talking about the tiff? One of our elitists, one of our other millionaires. He's got it, and a man who, by the way, was appointed by our governor to the. This is ironic. It almost makes you. This has got to be satirical. It's got to be something that maybe the governor is a comedian. Maybe she's got a side job as a comedian. She appointed Kenny Fiola to the Affordable Housing commission or whatever
Yep.
the hell she called commission or whatever.
Transition committee.
Transition, yeah. This guy who is adamantly opposed to affordable housing, and here he stands. Here he stands looking for a tip for another millionaire and saying, screw you, poor people. We don't want you. We don't want to divide this country. We want to unify this country. We want to get all the poor people out of here, just like they did in Martha's Vineyard. And again, it's not about race. It's about haves and have-nots. Because over the weekend, I saw a report. It was amazing. Do you know who Steph Curry is?
Yes.
Basketball player?
Yes.
Very, very, very rich basketball
Right.
player. And, quote unquote, a social justice warrior. Guys who take knees, guys who say, let's do this and fight for everything. And you know what Steph Curry did? He hired a battery of lawyers to keep affordable housing out of his neighborhood. Yeah, of course he's a social warrior for everybody else. Just like what they did in Martha's Vineyard.
That's right.
And Barack Obama lives on Martha's Vineyard.
So you can tell it's not race.
Yeah, well, it's not race, because where
Yeah.
was the social justice warrior, ex-president of Barack Obama and his wife? Where were they the day they tried, the 24 hours later when they threw out all the illegals, saying, walking down the middle of Martha's Vineyard with signs, let my people go. Let them stay. Read the signs you have on the streets that say, we love these immigrants. We want them here. We want to give them a pathway to any place but where I live or where Steph Curry lives. This is all about not color, but the haves and the have-nots. The Lincoln School is about the haves. The rich guy gets another break, and you get your rent raised. Take it away, CJ.
And you get your taxes raised.
There you go. Because what
Okay.
happens when you get a tie or a tip?
Somebody's gotta pay it.
Somebody's got to pay it, and
That's
it
right.
ain't the rich guy.
That's right. Somebody's got to pay it, and this is the problem. You know, I mean, just look at what happened with Amazon. We gave them every tax incentive under the sun.
Yep.
And what did Fall River get?
Virtually nothing.
Bupkis.
Yeah.
Bupkis. But Johnston went,
Oh, yeah. Johnston, yeah.
and Johnston raked them over the coals, took them to the cleaners.
Well, they took them. They took some. And I think, you know, like I said, lesson learned in negotiations.
Yeah.
We see these negotiations in Florida.
Yeah, but who's responsible for the negotiations?
Kenny Fiola.
Kenny Fiola.
Well, listen. Kenny Fiola's been around for 40 years.
Right, and nothing's
all
changed.
the way back, and nothing's really changed in
Right.
Fall River, except a lot of people got really, really rich.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, really rich, including him.
Right.
By the way, including him. So, you know, the Lincoln School is just another reason why you should go to the polls in November and clean house. The moral of this story is, and Carlos Caesar wrote a letter to the governor about his appointment to that.
Yes, he did. I wrote one as well.
And as did Joe Cavallo, and as did I.
Yep.
Did you ever get any response?
I never got a word back.
Did you even get an acknowledgement?
Not even acknowledgement.
Neither did I, and neither did Carlos.
Yep.
I haven't checked with Joe Cavallo, but I did check with Carlos. Carlos has not even received an
Right.
acknowledgement from our governor.
Right.
Because they don't listen, they don't care. It's not about color. It's about whether you're rich or poor. It's about poor black people, middle-class black people, middle-class white people, middle-class Orientals, although Orientals, by the way, just to say how racist everything is, they have the highest income of any group in the United
That's
States.
right. And remember,
And the highest educational level.
and
too.
remember, for a politician, they only care if you can give the $1,000 a year.
That's right.
That's all they care about.
Yeah,
If
and-
you give the $1,000, we'll listen to you.
That's
But
right.
if you can't give the $1,000,
And they want you out.
Don't be a bother.
Look, this market rate housing in Fall River is about pushing. They think they're going to move all the poor people out of
Right.
Fall River. They think their answer is get rid of them all. But are they really going to come to Fall River? The Lincoln School stands as another example of what their real agenda is. Get themselves rich and stay as far away from the great unwashed as they can. They do not even like to be in the same room with poor people, like they did in Martha's Vineyard. What happened? Oh, the immigrants are here. All the signs, we love them. Get them, call the national. Where did they sleep? Did they sleep in the 10,000 empty rooms that Martha's Vineyard had because it wasn't tourist season?
Nope.
Where did they sleep? They slept in a church auditorium, I think.
Church basement.
Church basement.
Yep.
Banish those peons. How dare they invade our rich little enclave? Just like in Chicago. The blacks want police. Blacks want safety. It's all about something real simple. Being secure in your home. It's not about color. They're being murdered every weekend. And they have a black mayor who looks like a troll on crack, and apparently she doesn't pay attention to anything because she's been doing this now ever since she's been in, and she's out there doing a Macarena or something during some festival while her city's a war zone. And same thing in Baltimore. It's not about color. It's not about color. It's about haves and have-nots. Does Nancy Pelosi have a bunch of, are there all kinds of shootings around Nancy Pelosi's house? No. Are there all kinds of shootings in Martha's Vineyard? No. Joe Biden's got how many houses? And every one of his houses is secure.
So much so he even said so about the
the mayor of and Lori Lightfoot in Chicago.
Yeah.
They got near her house. She called in the entire Chicago Police Department and the National Guard. It's not about race, people. It's about haves and have-nots. And the Lincoln School is, again, showing what the agenda of the people who were elected to represent us, what it really is. It's about taking care of their rich friends, their doctors and their lawyers and their bankers and all the rich developers. They care about you? No. 3 or 4 units, don't worry about it. So that's the Lincoln School. And kudos to Carlos. He's been a leader for a very, very long time, because I'm going to show, now I think if we're done with this, we'll segue into why we need a change, okay?
Works for me.
Why we need a change. I'll give you a copy of this one.
Is that Carlos's old newspaper?
I got this.
Yeah.
But first, let's start off with that. Let's start off with Fall River. And oh yeah, before we do, we've got to mention that there's been a couple of ATV chases. Isn't it amazing that on the show we talked about how this problem's been going on for 4 years, now all of a sudden they're addressing it. So now Paul is going to get up and say what a great leader he is. He's allowed the police department to become virtually non-existent at its lowest level. All kinds of chaos. But now, we're going to do it. Oh, and by the way, an aside, I don't know if you heard this, but I just got this call. He was cited with a purple bag picking up trash with little tongs, or whatever the hell they call them, around Globe Four Corners.
I was going to say that was up the Globe.
Another optic. Oh, look at me. I give out masks and I pick up trash. No, that's not what you're supposed to do, Paul. We can simplify this, get to the bottom line. You want people to come to Fall River? We're #1 in crime. We got a terrible education, so we're 335th. People are not going to come here, you pinhead. What do people want? Real simple. Safe streets and good schools. That's what brings people to a community. Safe streets and good schools. Is our city safe? Well, let's go back in history a little bit. This was already, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago. This one. Kathleen Roy, born in this city, still live here. Never had shootings, at least 2 a week now. When will this stop? Out of control. Always looking around me, always paying attention. What's happening? Paul E. Coogan. You must see the change. No, he doesn't. He's too busy putting his head in a purple bag and putting, gum wrappers and cigarette butts in it. He's not worried about crime because there's no crime around him. He's one of the haves. And now for the latest reports. Here we go. Fall River Reporter, thank you, because the Herald News never covers this.
Right.
because it's like they're the propaganda arm for Paul Coogan. Florida reporter call came into dispatch last night concerning a report that someone had fired shots at a housing complex.
Maple
La-la!
Gardens. Maple Gardens.
Maple Gardens.
Yep.
Shots fired, Fernandez Club. The Fall River Police Department responded to a city hospital after a reported stabbing that took place. This is what you want in your city? This mayor's been sitting on his butt for nearly 3.5 years.
And this is all in one day.
While crime, I don't have another arm, I'd pick up the other one. So this is like in one day, okay? So this is what he's done. And he wants you to vote for him because he gave out masks and he's picking up trash at the curb.
And, you know, the worst part about it was that, you know, the scanner was going nuts with reports of shots fired Saturday.
With our lowest complement of police officers basically in history.
I was going to say that. And we didn't have enough medics. We didn't even have enough medics. Well, we moved them all down to Bedford Street, and we didn't even have enough medics.
Yeah, we need a field hospital.
Well,
It'll be
you
like
know
the
what?
military now, because this is like a war zone.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, where were the medics? Were they sitting at the hospitals, as Paul reported, that they don't need a station because they're in the hospital? They leave the hospital to go to the calls. I mean, I don't know.
Well, look, and remember, Paul moved them all because of personnel issue, not for public safety.
That's right. And remember, I'm not saying that EMS isn't busy. I know EMS is busy.
They're very busy.
You know they're
Very,
busy as
very
well. They're very busy. And, you know, my heart goes out to them because they're the ones shacking up 3 flights of stairs to bring down a 300-pound person.
Yeah, and the problem with them is that they can't just be there to stand by.
That's right.
While these things are going on. They have to go respond to calls.
That's right.
And you know, the bottom line is no city has enough.
No.
The answer to this problem is to stop the damn crime, Paul. That's the answer. And you don't think it's ever been done before? No, because you don't know that. Because in 2010, you were walking around with your hands in your pocket at Durfee. 2010. We're going to catch you. Flint residents and business owners were informed Thursday night. A member of the ways that they're working with police, and they're going to talk. Carlos Caesar, see, Carlos, there's a man that's been involved since 2010. This is the Herald News, January 9, 2010. 2010, 2023, he's still battling for you and the people of the Flint.
I keep saying elect him mayor.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, he should run for something.
He really should.
Because he's really been involved. Carlos Caesar called a meeting of the merchants, but then what happens? City Councilor Eric Poulin steps up to the plate. Didn't say, my job is saving lives. Let's give money to some obscure thing rather than public safety or the people, like one of our present councilors. And the mayor, Flanagan, as much as we had issues with him, he at least addressed this. Will Flanagan acknowledged the Flint Neighborhood Association and worked with them to make their streets safe. And they initiated an operation that was dubbed Operation Blue Thunder. Did he wait 3.5 years to do this, Paulie? Did he wait till people were talking about it for the 4th consecutive year to chase ATVs around? Did our here's a city councilor, Eric Poulin, stepping up for public safety. Where the hell's our council? This is unacceptable. As I said, the number one marker of a civilization in decline or a city in decline is high crime. Bad schools, we got it. Low social cohesion, which people are separated and divided, as I open the show with, and drugs. Those are the 4 major markers. But listen, you got to judge people you judge people by the content of their character, and you judge people who are supposed to be working for you. And by the way, he's supposed to be working for us, according to our as is the city council, by their performance. You hire a plumber, he doesn't fix your problem, you got a problem. You hire an electrician, he doesn't fix the problem, you got a problem. You hire a mayor and not give him 1 term, and he uses COVID. Well, Taunton used COVID to improve their entire government. You did nothing. Hand out masks for optics. Now you're picking up trash with a purple bag. Does that have some significance, Paul? Are you going to try to use that and say, oh, anybody who runs against me wants to bring back the purple bags, but I'm just using it to pick up? No. You wanted to bring back the purple bags. Mary Sahadi said in front of it, and we got the video. She said, before you got the ARPA money, that this is what you were looking at, and you said you were going to definitely bring back the fee. But Mary Sahadi also said you were looking at bringing back the purple bags, the fee, reducing fire and police, and looking for a 2.5 override. And you can't say we're lying. We got the video. We got the presentation. We got her saying that, and we got you sitting in a chamber watching her.
And not refuting anything she said.
That's right.
Not refuting one word.
That was your presentation. Because
right.
who does she represent?
She
as the CFO.
She represents
was
the mayor.
representing the mayor
That's
and
right.
his plan. So listen, this is unacceptable. I don't care if you like him personally or dislike him personally. You know, to put it in Fall River language, he just ain't doing a job.
No. And you know, it's, as you know, I visit the coffee shops and the supermarkets and whatnot, and I talk to people, and most of them come to me. I don't go to them. They come to me and start talking to me. And the same thing is being said by, I would say, 80-90% of the people. We got to get somebody to run who knows what to do. Not somebody who's going to cater to the special interests. Not somebody who's going to charge me more money. Not somebody that's going to raise my taxes. Not somebody that's going to raise my fees. I want somebody that represents me.
You mean like somebody who is a real leader and can make decisions?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. That's what they want. You know, but look, enough is enough, Paul. I'm sorry. You had your chance. You tried to use COVID as a cover on the first one. Fall River's got to stop doing this. Will Flanagan, his first term, screwed everything up, and he got elected again on the platform of, I know I screwed up my entire first term, give me another term.
chance.
And they reelected him.
Right.
And then we ended up having to recall him. Right? But he did at least address crime. He at least tried to do something about crime. He did a lot of other bad things. But Paul Coogan gets elected, he doesn't do anything. Give out masks. You want a mask? You want a mask? Oh, yeah. What are you going to? Taunton revamps its entire permitting system, changes all kinds of governmental things to make the city more efficient and more effective for the people. You did nothing. Okay, COVID's gone. Second term, ATVs, 4 years. Crime, 3 years in a row, number one. What have you done, Paul? Too late, too little, too late.
Well, everyone, I want to thank you all for watching. It's always been an interesting show. Never enough time, never enough time.
Right, always.
And remember,
To be continued.
To be continued. I want you to stay safe, stay angry, and hold your politicians accountable. Thanks for inviting us into your home. Have a great day. We'll see you Wednesday.